Several minutes of commercial-free football starts now.
Here are the Purple Mortgage Guys.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Purple Mortgage Guys. It's just Goose and Tanner tonight, and pretty late. Real quick before the game, we wanted to put some thoughts out there on this Monday night football matchup with one of the better teams in football, the San Francisco 49ers. Tanner, what are your initial thoughts on the game? How do you feel about our chances to win? Break it down.
I feel like a lot of Vikings fans have kind of actually stolen my thunder here in the past 5 or 4 days or so. I actually feel pretty good about tonight. I don't know if I'd say they're going to pull it out of their butts and win this game, but I feel like they had the ability to play the Niners super tight tonight. They are without a couple key pieces. The best left tackle in all of football, Trent Williams, is not going to be playing tonight. And San Francisco's offensive line has not been very good this year outside of Trent Williams. They're like last or towards the bottom of the league in pass protection. So that bodes well for our defense. Obviously, I'm assuming Brian Flores is going to try to bring the heat and get Purdy rattled again. And Deebo Samuel's out as well. So a big reason San Francisco's offense has always been so successful is because they have the ability to get the ball out in a hurry to playmakers who are very good in the open field, like Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. So now that Deebo's not playing and Trent Williams isn't playing, if you can take advantage of Brock Purdy and get some pressure and apply pressure, I think you can keep your offense in this game. San Francisco is one of the best defenses in all of football as well. So I think in order for the Vikings to win this game, they're going to have to control the clock. You can't afford to have turnovers tonight. You have to control the clock, limit the explosive run game that San Francisco has with Christian McCaffrey. He's playing injured as well. He has an oblique / rib injury. I think I read pregame here.
I saw somewhere that said it was like partially torn, his oblique. I don't know how you run on that.
I told you I hurt my oblique in softball last year.
Slow pitch softball.
But it is painful. It is super painful. Like I cannot imagine playing a football game with an oblique injury, but those guys are in a different realm when it comes to pain tolerance. So I do think that the Vikings have a good chance. This is a home game. Obviously our record on Monday Night Football has not been spectacular. Kirk Cousins' record on Monday Night Football has not been spectacular. And I just think they need to try to ride the home crowd tonight. Don't overthink things. Try to get the ball to the playmakers. And, should be a good game. I'm excited. I think it's going to be closer than people think, even though I do think San Francisco will prevail.
Okay, so you do think the Niners will win. I thought we were going to have differing opinions tonight. As much as I also agree that it should be competitive and that there's little pieces that make me feel like we have a chance, like Trent Williams being out. Some people call him the best player in football, not just the best left tackle. And so that's a huge loss for the 49ers. Obviously, we're without also maybe the best player in football, Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take a better effort than what we shown in Chicago. But basically going with the same take as you, I think it'll be a close game. I would not be surprised if they pull the upset. But at this point, I just can't pick the Vikings to win another game this season until they prove me otherwise. Tanner, I hope you pop back here soon. Oh, there you go. I think next would be give a bold prediction what you think would happen tonight.
I actually didn't even think of that. I had a score prediction ready to go, but I did not have a bold prediction.
Give me your score prediction.
Score predictions first. I'm going to say Niners 24, Vikings 16.
Okay, an 8-point game. It's within reach to tie it up, so a little bit of extra heartbreak there. I'm also going to go a little bit, I want to say lower scoring because it feels like it has to be. I'm going to go 23-20 49ers.
A little closer than me.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling with a bold prediction tonight. I feel like I have all these things that I just expect, like I know are going to happen based off. But I suppose if you're going to make me pick one, I'm going to say Kirk Cousins has a rushing touchdown tonight.
Ooh.
A
Okay.
goal line rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but they are going to that sneak more often, so not a bad take. I'm gonna say for the first time this year that Cam Akers, oh gosh, I want this to happen more than I think it's gonna happen. That Cam Akers out touches Alexander Madison. It's my bold prediction.
It needs to happen.
Yeah. I can't, even as I was making that prediction, I just can't get myself to believe it. It doesn't feel like they're going to do it. Do you think that how do you feel about Reisner? So Reisner's getting the start tonight over Ezra.
Yep.
What are the chances that you think, maybe not Ezra, maybe it's somewhere along the O-line, but what do you think the chances are that he doesn't give a starting spot back this season? Like plays well enough to where it's like we got to put this guy somewhere.
I think it's fairly unlikely, just because I kind of feel like Ezra Cleveland and Dalton Reisner are similar, like on a level playing field, but they have different strengths. Like Ezra Cleveland's a really good run blocker, and Dalton Reisner is really good in pass protection. And we've been riding pass protection all year. Like we have a high-powered offense that likes to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And actually, yeah, that kind of bodes more.
I was going to say, you just convinced me that Reisner.
But I don't actually. I'm changing my actual thoughts on this like mid-show here. Like I actually think that Reisner probably could, just because I feel like Kwesi is a very proud guy when it comes to his decisions. So if he's going to bring a guy like Reisner in, and he does play really well tonight, I guess it'd be more up to O'Connell to keep going and riding that out. But I don't see Cleveland being back next year either way. So
yeah. If the Vikings pull off the upset tonight, I think they're a 7-point underdog. Who had the big game?
No, that's a really good question too. See, I wish you would have let me.
And if you can't narrow it down to one player, which I think to me feels like it's got to be a certain player, but you could also say like a unit, like the defense. Just
I mean, I would say that like the typical answer would be for most people they would say Kirk Cousins, but that's so like sort of typical to say like, oh, if the quarterback has a good game, you're going to win.
Yeah.
I think for me, it would probably be Madison. Be Alexander Madison. So if you can get your run game going against a really good defense and control the clock, which I think is really what you need to do to win this game, I would say it's because Alexander Madison's having a good game and he's getting 5 to 6 yards a carry. I don't see that happening. But if he explodes tonight, I would say that the Vikings have a pretty good chance of winning.
Yeah, no, that's a good take. It's not a good take for my bold prediction, but I agree that you'd have to control the clock, and whether that's a short passing game or just not limiting turnovers, we're going to have to hold onto the ball and make the most of our possessions and then stop Brock Purdy and the Niners when we can. I do feel like it would have to be Kirk. I feel like Kirk has to play a pretty darn good game for us to pull off the upset. I'm really pulling for that just because of all the primetime Kirk talks, and this game isn't setting up to be in his favor to stop that narrative. And at this point, maybe it's not a narrative and there's some truth to it, but I just want him to come out and have a big game and hopefully pull the upset, especially with the Lions and the Packers losing pretty ugly this week for them. Do you have any comments about the division, the way it's kind of looking?
Not even necessarily the division, just the NFC in general.
Yeah.
There were a lot of upsets this week across the league.
Yep.
So the Vikings beat the Niners tonight. I don't think anybody would be surprised based off everything that we saw this week. So The Lions looked like the Lions yesterday, and that's why I didn't pick them to, I guess, place well in the division because I feel like they do this a lot, where they have a lot of promise and then revert to their old selves. Although Baltimore is very hard to beat at home, one of the best teams in the league at home. But Packers and Bears don't look good. The rest of the NFC looks very suspect to me. The Eagles looked pretty good again last night, but outside of the Eagles, like Dallas has been pretty inconsistent.
Yeah.
Detroit, obviously, they didn't look great again yesterday. So those are the top 3 teams in the NFC, I think, outside the Niners. And it just feels like it's kind of wide open. The Vikings' back half of their schedule looks very favorable.
Yeah.
And people shouldn't be so quick to throw in the towel, even if tonight doesn't look great. We're missing a lot of key pieces again. Justin Jefferson, Marcus Davenport. These are key pieces to our offensive and defensive units that make us go. And to get them back, I think at the right time in November will be very crucial for us.
For sure. It's all about who gets hot at the right time, and we just have to kind of stay in a spot where you have a shot at the end of the season and string together some wins. Well, we'll get. I think we better get this posted since game time is in less than an hour. And let's go Vikes. Let's get a W.
One last thing I have to say. It's a question for you.
Okay, bring it.
You didn't turn me off, did you?
Nope.
Nick Bosa versus Christian Darrisaw tonight, dude.
See, I was wondering. I don't watch a ton of Niners football.
He lines up on both sides.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I feel like I've seen him maybe more on the other side, but so let's say Bosa versus Darrisaw O'Neal.
So basically, my question for you is: the Vikings, in my opinion, between them and Philadelphia, have the top tackle tandem in the league.
Yep.
What is the over/under on Nick Bosa's sack number tonight? 2?
1.5. So basically, I was thinking 1.5. It was what was in my mind. So the over is he gets 2. The under is 1.
I'm gonna take the under.
I do too. I would take the under as well, and I think they're going to perform tonight. Maybe the only way they don't is if they run some more stunts, do something, try to get creative with him. But I don't really think that's going to happen. And I agree that the tandem is up there in the top 2 in the league as far as talent on one team. All right. Well, we better get to get the pregame show on.
Skol.
Skol.